They're saying because there's a lien on the home from the IRS, they're going to take it. And so he bulldozed his house. That's how you send a message that's nonviolent. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
It took 3 years and 8 months to build it. It only took 2 hours to take it down.
You are looking at a home valued at well over $250,000 in Claremont County. This is how it looked until 2 weeks ago.
It'd be $2 million in Austin.
It is a pile of rubble covered by snow.
When I see that I owe $160,000 on almost a $350,000 home, and somebody decides they want to take it, I wasn't going to stand for that, so I took it down.
You heard him right. He bulldozed his home. To say Terry Hoskins knows how to make a point is an understatement. IRS liens on Hoskins' carpet store and other properties led to River Hills Bank in New Richmond eventually coming after his home. What you might find strange is
they stated, even though, Mr. Hoskins has never missed a payment on his house, it's cross-collateraled, so we can take that also.
Why on earth would someone bulldoze a $350,000 home? He tells me it's to send a message.
And hopefully from this, people will stand up and maybe, call their bank and tell them, hey, listen, you know what? I'm not going to let you do this to me.
All right. Now, that's how you do it. That's how you send a message to these criminals who don't work through due process of the courts. We didn't have it until 1913. The average American didn't pay it until the mid-50s. Kennedy cut taxes by 50% and revenues doubled. The government knows when they cut taxes, there's more money. They want to control your life. That's the program. It's about control. It's about monopolies. Now, the Joe Stack situation is very suspicious. I'd predicted a false flag in Austin. I don't know if this is it. We know the government does these, so we have to look at that. KXAN and other TV stations reported the emergency equipment was there before the strike, before the attack. The family told the Associated Press that and this is up on prisonplanet.com, we have a link to it if you want to find the article easily, that they don't believe he wrote it and had said nothing about this to anyone. So that's in the Associated Press. But he could have acted alone. I mean, multiple witnesses said they saw no pilot in the plane. They kill the guy, bury him, have it take off, flying by remote control. That's in the declassified Operation Northwoods document. And now, up on prisonplanet.com, we have a link. We have a great article here. 9 months before Operation Northwoods, U.S. government planned to terrorize U.S. cities, pretext for war. Government leaders suggested false flag terror attack in Dominican Republic. They wanted to overthrow the Dominican Republic. They said, we'll put aircraft carriers and troops off their coast, bomb a U.S. embassy. But then the Bay of Pigs got launched, and they didn't do that. And Bobby Kennedy was involved. Here's the State Department, now declassified. Give me a close shot of that for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. For those that doubt governments can do something like this. And I have another big article up on the site with scores of examples of declassified reports where our government admits attacks they did carry out. Now, on the subject of Joe Stack and the kamikaze attack, 75% of Americans angry at government's current policies. Another Rasmussen, only 21% say government has consent of the governed. It obviously doesn't. The banks are looting us. Our government is lawless. We need to get it back and take the states back with people like Deborah Medina. If she wins, that sends a message nationwide. Already the numbers she's gotten, it sent a message for true libertarians, constitutionalists, patriots to run and take over the states and say no to the feds under the 9th and 10th Amendment. Read the Bill of Rights and Constitution. It's there. It's our right to do this. Now, that said, look at these headlines. Does Austin plane crash pilot's rambling suicide note sound a lot like Alex Jones? True slant. Austin American Statesman implies that I supported him with no evidence and no quotes. In another disgusting article, New York Daily News, kamikaze pilot Joe Stack, who crashed plane into Austin building, hailed by anti-government groups. Then it mentions my name. Never hailed it. But hey, they don't stop there. Misleading headlines claim Scott Brown, the guy that just won in Massachusetts, sympathized with Austin, Texas kamikaze pilot. So Scott Brown, he's for it now. Not true, but Raw Story doesn't care. Now, it turns out he was not part of the Tea Party, and so that's disappointed the Obamanoids. But here's The Guardian, biggest paper in England. Austin, Texas, paranoid politics central. Joseph Stack's views don't fit neatly into a partisan politics of the U.S., but Central Texas is where conspiracy theories take root. And the article mentions my name 5 times, 6 times. and says it's all my fault. I did this. Not the IRS abusing people, not the government out of control. And the larger question is it ever right to fight back against the government? And the government would say, no, you don't fight back against Hitler, Stalin, Pol Pot, Genghis Khan, you lay down. Well, we are the government in the United States, and I am for defending ourselves. But I am not for offensively going out without a judge, jury, or whatever. I want to take our states back. I want to start prosecuting criminals in government. I want to cut the size of government. But it is leading towards a violent confrontation. More and more people, by the incredible mainstream media comments and reports and emails and talk radio calls I've heard supporting this. I was at the gun show, and half the people that came up to me, hundreds and hundreds yesterday, said, people are mad. People are getting ready to do more. And they want to believe Stack really did it, and they think it's great, a lot of them. And this is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. The globalists want to have violence. The Internal Homeland Security and MIAC reports that we received from law enforcement beginning of 2009 stated Homeland Security is really set up for the American people to suppress us so the foreign banks can rob us. They want this to happen. But I'll tell Homeland Security and the other people, these illegitimate unconstitutional groups who admit in the John Warren Defense Authorization Act this whole thing's set up to suppress the states going for legitimate states' rights. Not secession like Perry says, to mischaracterize us, but for 9th and 10th Amendment. The states created the federal government, not the other way around. We're not just slaves to a federal government run by offshore interest. And so we need to take our states back peacefully, but they don't want that. They want to get a violent revolution going. Unemployment's well over 20% in real numbers. Things are very, very serious. We're in a lot of trouble as a society. And if people want to know the full story, visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, and the books, the videos, the materials. We've got Jesse Ventura's new book discounted at Infowars.com, all these other great films and books. Your purchases and financial support make what we do here possible, and these are materials that can wake other people up. We're almost out of time. Let's jam in Patrick in Canada. Patrick, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. I just want to let you know that you're our hero up here in Vancouver. Everybody here knows what's going on. We know about all these dirty tricks, the false flag tricks. We know about when events down in Austin happen.
The counterfeits like Glenn Beck.
Yeah, we know about Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck, in my opinion, is just a piece of trash. Everybody up here can see through him. You really inspired me. I've gotten off the bench for the big win. I've started my own webpage. It's www.infowarheroes.com. I'm telling everybody about it. And people are loving it. They love your documentaries. They love the movies. They're hungry for information, and you've gotten us really fired up here. If they try anything up here in Vancouver, we know what's going on. They're not going to get away with anything anymore.
God bless you, Patrick. I've seen the site. Looks good. Chris in Kentucky. Quickly, Chris.
Okay, Alex, I just want to say that I want to tell for the time that I was listening to InfoWars for a lot of time in your show, I was a volunteer firefighter, and I want to tell you something about fire behavior. The World Trade Center towers, those were oxygen-starved fires. That type of fire does not melt steel.
Well, Building 7 wasn't hit by a plane, but it fell on 9/11. Why didn't the Echelon building fall in Austin? And by the way, it was on the news. They were telling them it's going to fall because if there's a fire in a building, it falls now.
Exactly. And, that's what it is. All the, let's say, Philadelphia, Venezuela, those structures stood. But you know what? On 9/11, those are explosives of thermate.
God bless you. We're out of time. Listen, Burma's is coming up for 3 hours after me. If it's on your local AM and FM, you can listen at Infowars.com or the free iPhone system. You can listen live on that. Download it free at Infowars.com. Banner over on the right-hand side under the listen links. It's free for your iPhone. Let's say you already listen on your iPhone or on AM or FM. Your grandma, your brother, your cousin, your son, your daughter, your boss, your employees, they've got iPhones or they've got Apple computers. Send them the link to the free application, and when the show's not live, it restreams 24/7, and we're adding podcast links to that as well. Back live tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I want to thank all our M&FM affiliates, sponsors, everybody else. Great job, crew. Get out there and wake up and take on the tyranny. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us